Hey everybody, my name is Jeremy Fry and I am a polyglot. And so today, my goal is to give you guys a pro teaching tip on how to be successful at learning different languages, or at least what's been working for me. And so, just to give you a little bit of information about myself, I speak 8 languages to varying degrees, including English, and then kind of from best to, you know, I wouldn't say worst, just the most inexperienced. I would say I have Spanish slash French in the advanced slash, going to the fluent area. And then next it would be Chinese and Arabic in the more advanced realm. Um, and then we have Portuguese and Italian in the intermediate realm. And then we have Japanese somewhere in between the novice and intermediate, I would say. Alright, and so the pro teaching tip that I want to give you guys today is based on like vocabulary. When learning vocabulary, a lot of people like will learn language and they'll either like have a lot of vocabulary in their like arsenal when they're speaking, but they can't really use it as well or not like that quickly. They have to like find each word, and it makes it like a very challenging experience. Or you're at the opposite end of the spectrum where you're just having trouble at the very base memorizing the language. And of course, like, it's going to be different for everybody, but I think that there are some principles, at least in what I'm going to be saying today, that's going to help you. Now, this video isn't about this, but if you want to actually get a start with learning languages, um, I'm a part of a company with a group of teachers who are willing to help you get started and to who you can actually follow up with in courses. So I'll leave the link below where you can find more information about that. And here we go. The first thing when learning a language, you just have to have the vocabulary. Actually, vocabulary is probably one of the most important parts, even beyond grammar. Um, in language learning, I think of it like this: you have a bow and arrow, and so you have like the arrows, and then you have which I think are like the vocabulary words, and then you have the bow, which is like the grammar, the structure that you're shooting the vocabulary words through. So you can still throw like the arrows at your target. Let's say like it's just one of those circle targets, not a person. Um, so you can actually do something with like the arrows, but with the bow, like like its function is just to kind of shoot the arrows. So um, with no vocabulary, you really can't do much of anything. In any case, so the first thing to do is to get that vocabulary in your own kind of fun way. Some of you use like flashcards. If you're like me, when I was little, my mom encouraged me to kind of beatbox a little bit or have fun with like saying the words, like dance a little bit as I'm like pronouncing it over and over again, which is one of the key pieces. You want to have repetition over and over again as you're saying the word, and hopefully you're listening to something and trying to actually like mimic exactly how it's said. Don't be lazy on that. Try to get it exactly, or as exact as you can, because it can make a difference. So another thing, you'll want to, like, as you're memorizing that word, think of the different facets of that word. For example, how many syllables does it take to pronounce this word? Where's the stress in the word? Even what does the word begin with? Like, what letter, and what does it end with? For example, árbol in Spanish would be like the stress is at the front of the word. Ar. It starts with an A. Okay, check. 2 syllables. Árbol. Okay, I got it. So I'm gathering information that's going to help me to memorize the word, and keep it in my brain for much longer in a much more substantial way. And so once you have that vocabulary in your head, one thing that I do is I start using the word in context. Now, The repetition of that single word is only to put it in your head to get the pronunciation down, to make sure your tongue can say it right. But the point of learning words is learning to be able to use it in conversation. So make sentences actually converse even with yourself using that word to the best of your ability, even if it's just a simple sentence, as simple as that. And so, for example, I'm going to use, let's say, bread, el pan, el pan. Okay, so I'm memorizing bread, el pan, el pan. Let's say I've said it 15 to however many times to get it in my head, to get the pronunciation right. Now, I'm going to put it in context. Me gusta el pan. I like the bread. Yes. And so now, instead of repeating that individual word, now repeating the whole sentence over and over again. Me gusta el pan. Me gusta el pan. Me gusta el pan. Me gusta el pan. And once I'm comfortable with that, then I can try to make it more complex. Me gusta comer el pan. I like to eat bread, or I like to eat the bread. And so I'm making it more complicated, but I'm putting the word into context in order to make it more memorable, but also at the same time, I think that will help remedy that that thing that we all go through where we're in conversation and we have the word, but it takes us forever to access one word and then access the next one because you've been practicing using it in conversation the whole time. Okay? And so one analogy that I think of with this pro tip is actually has to deal with music, because language is very much, at least in my opinion, like a muscle memory kind of thing. So I'm going to take you to my piano and show you what it's like to learn a word in context. So let's say I'm learning how to play like a random song with a melody or something like that. Now, you'll want to learn the individual words, like, okay, I'm repeating this word. Now I'm used to that word. And I might be used to another word too, like this. But eventually, you'll want to practice putting these words in context. So once you have your different words down that you want to memorize, you'll want to, play them together, because even with music, you can know how to play different things and play different parts, but until you put them together, you will find that you will also struggle a little bit of getting it all down. And so that's about it. Those are, my little tips for this first pro tip video. And I want to hear what you guys think about what I'm saying, if it's worked for you or perhaps not. Maybe something else has worked better for you. Leave them in the comments below so that I can see too. All right. And so again, I'm leaving a link in the description below so you guys can access like teachers as language resources. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions. All right. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.